Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Focus Vandalia. My name is Rich Hopkins. I'm the communications manager for the city. And on today's program, we'll find out how you can learn more about the game of golf. Maybe it's a sport you'd like to try sometime in the future. We're also going to let you know where you can find free, family-friendly movies all summer long. But our first stop today is actually underneath North Dixie Drive, where a culvert project replacement is underway. As we're about to find out, this project is one of several taking place in Vandalia this summer. If this summer's roadwork projects were a play, the work being done here on North Dixie Drive would be the opening act, as crews came in to replace a culvert that runs underneath the road. Vandalia Public Works Manager Rob Cron says the work is right on schedule.
You can see behind me they've got the majority of the box culvert installed. The roadway is still closed now, and we expect to have it open probably early July.
Of course, the big challenge with this project was the fact that North Dixie Drive was closed to through traffic for just about a month. That meant a detour over to Miller Lane and back was in order. Cron says the detour may have been a small hassle for some drivers, but nothing too problematic.
Seems to have worked fairly well. Haven't had any big issues with that.
With the Dixie project completed, work now shifts to Vandalia's neighborhoods, where the annual street resurfacing project gets underway with curb and sidewalk repairs.
Our curb and sidewalk program is well underway now. We're probably about halfway through the project. Should be finished in another maybe 3 weeks, and soon after that, sometime in July, probably see the pavers in town to start the resurfacing.
It's a well-thought-out process that begins with a rough and bumpy stretch of road and ends with a beautiful black ribbon of asphalt.
First, we go through and replace any of the bad concrete sections. Then we'll be coming through and milling off the top 1.5 inches of asphalt and replacing that with a new layer of asphalt on there. If you want to see what streets are going to be done this year, you can go to our website at www.vandaliaohio.org for the list and a map of the streets that are going to be done.
And once crews wrap up the road work, the smooth roadway will put Vandalia drivers back in business. Speaking of business, it's been a busy summer thus far for economic development, with the most exciting news being word that 120 jobs are coming to the city by way of a food processing plant at Stone Quarry Crossings. Assistant City Manager Greg Shackelford says Project Foursquare now has a new name.
The company name is White Castle. Obviously, we're all familiar with White Castle. I believe they're in 14 different states around the country where they actually serve out of their restaurants. But this is not going to be a restaurant location. It's going to be a distribution center basically we call it a food processing center. I know you've heard me talk about it before, but essentially they're going to have frozen meat that they process at the plant for packaging. So like when you go to Sam's or Walmart and you're in the frozen food section and you see the boxes of the White Castle hamburgers, that's you're going to know that in this region that it's being supplied right here in Vandalia, Ohio.
White Castle chose Vandalia over a number of other sites in Ohio and Kentucky. Shackelford said one reason the plant is coming to town is the city's resource partners, such as Vectren and DP&L, who came to the table early on to offer support. Shackelford says now that the company's coming to town, another resource partner will come into play.
Also a resource that people overlook a lot of times, and you've heard me talk about this before, but I can't tell you how important the job center is to our region and helping us to be able to, okay, once the jobs are committed, now what do? You got workforce that you have to find, and in this market right now, I think our job opportunities are really growing to a point where the workforce demand is going to be challenging to meet. And that's the best problem that you could possibly have in economic development.
Shackelford says the White Castle announcement is more proof that the Stone Quarry Crossing site is gaining momentum.
Field of Dreams is kind of what Stone Quarry's become. If you build it, they will come. And as you've seen with Carter and Mack, that was our original private company that was out there, we've gotten a lot more interest, and this announcement with White Castle is going to continue to spur interest. We've got a few other prospects that are pretty serious out there right now that we're hoping that we can continue to move forward on. And as we have gotten the opportunities for the acres are filling up pretty quickly out there.
Some other areas of the city that are picking up steam on the economic development front include Poe Avenue, where Ohio Pediatrics has opened a clinic and research facility. The company recently held a grand opening and a ribbon cutting in their new location in one of the old Imes buildings. The event featured plenty to eat and drink, and Vandalia Mayor Arlene Setzer officially welcomed the company to town with a framed photo of one of the holes at Castle Hills Golf Course. Then the group lined up for not one, but 2 ribbon cuttings. The news is also good in the Northwoods Business Park, where all-service plastic molding is set to open its doors soon.
This is it's a plastics injection molding company that essentially works with a lot of appliances, a lot of washers and dryers and those type of units. And what you're looking at behind me here is their brand new facility on Falls Creek. It's 140,000 square feet approximately inside these walls, and the majority of this space, there's some office space up front where the administrative folks are going to be, but in the rear is where all the manufacturing is going to occur. It's probably about 120,000 square feet.
Shackelford says the square footage inside will give the company plenty of room to grow, which means new employees for this region.
When it's all said and done, over 200 employees here, probably closer to 300 by the time that they would hire all the new hires.
The process to get all-service plastic molding in town began in early 2011, when officials first inquired about moving their facility to Vandalia.
From that time frame, we had a lot of our resource partners that were involved with the region, the county, the state, the Dayton Development Coalition were very supportive for this project. And then, of course, when it comes right down to it, once you get the deal agreed upon, it's up to your folks in-house to really turn it. Our city planner, Erica Vogel, has been instrumental with the landscaping and the signage. Ted Baker and his crew doing all the inspections and just basically making this thing turn the way that it should. And we're so fortunate that we have our own plans review team here in our city, which makes us maybe not completely unique, but a little different than a lot of cities our size.
We now go from services you'd expect in a bigger city to services that give Vandalia a small town feel. In June, the city offered residents the chance to shred sensitive documents for free at a Shred It event. City Manager Rob Anderson says it's an important service the city was happy to help provide.
We decided to host a shredding event for the community so that they could get rid of some confidential documents, get rid of things that have been sitting around the house, maybe do a little spring cleaning, and just help our citizens get rid of some stuff and do it in a confidential way.
The 4-hour event saw folks from all walks of life take advantage of the free offer.
A really good turnout with people so far, and we're only about an hour or so into it. So, yeah, I guess I am surprised that we've had this good of a turnout, but this is exactly the kind of thing we wanted to do with this event and tried to get as many people to take part as possible, and it's been very successful so far.
Vandalia was able to offer the free service in part due to the sponsorship support from 2 local State Farm insurance agents, Doug McDermott and Steve Reed.
We're just trying to serve the community, help the community. They need to get rid of some of their tax files, things like that. It's a way to be a good neighbor.
Reed says identity theft is a major problem that some folks are only now beginning to come to grips with.
Big problem. We've actually got a product now that can be part of your homeowners for identity restoration. It's offered by a lot of companies, a lot of good products out there, and it needs to be taken care of. People are getting their identity compromised on a daily basis. So we're trying to be part of the solution.
If the problem is nothing to do, then Vandalia's Division of Parks and Recreation has the solution. The department is sponsoring a series of family-friendly movies to give you an inexpensive summertime entertainment option.
Movies in the park allow families to come out for a free night of just enjoying the outdoors, movie, and family, and as well as enjoying their community parks.
The program takes place at Seeger Park.
At Seeger Park, we do mount a screen to the side of the Vandalia Senior Center, bring a projector system as well as speakers out. We do ask that the families either bring blankets or chairs. We will actually this year, thanks to some area businesses, we are going to provide free popcorn and refreshments to family members.
Movies in the park actually started in June, but 3 movies remain in the series for the month of July.
Friday the 13th, we will have Big Miracle. Friday, July 20th, we'll have Mirror Mirror. And Friday, July 27th, we'll have Kung Fu Panda 2.
Each movie will start at about 9:30 or so when things get dark, but you should plan on getting there early to get a good spot to watch. Also from Parks and Recreation, an opportunity for your young teenager to find gainful employment in the fall. The Vandalia Youth Soccer Program is looking for a few good referees. Kids with an interest in soccer and a little time on their hand can work as referees in the fall soccer program, earning up to $12 a game for their efforts. John Gray says referees receive a good amount of training before that first game.
Starting in July 8th, the 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th will be soccer referee classes held at the Senior Citizen Center from 6 to 8:30 p.m. And we will go over the laws of the game for the first 3 Sundays. The 4th Sunday will be the test Sunday. It is a take-home test, so the grades are expected to be higher when they come back. And then after that's done, we have a Saturday following that's a field clinic that we have out here on the field with the referees.
If you'd like to sign your teenager up for referee classes, you can stop by the Vandalia Recreation Center front desk to sign up in person, or you can give John Gray a call at 898-2918. Also in the summer months, a couple of programs designed to keep you and your family on the safe side of the street. Vandalia Crime Prevention Officer Holly Estep says plans are underway now for the National Night Out Against Crime, which will take place on Tuesday, August the 7th at the Vandalia Sports Complex.
National Night Out is going to be at the Sports Complex, the same place it was last year. And we actually have a jumpy for kids. We're going to have some crime prevention games for kids and adults. And basically it's all about getting out, meeting your neighbors, and standing up against crime.
The evening is free and open to the public, with plenty of opportunities to walk away with more than you came with.
And we're going to be giving away lots of prizes. We're going to be giving away a pair of skates from Skate World, maybe 2 pair, and some t-shirts, some prizes from Christie's, maybe some gift certificates, stuff like that for people who attend.
Estep says the overall theme of National Night Out is that neighbors working together can have a profound impact on crime.
Oh, definitely. Extra eyes always can help prevent crime, and knowing what to do when you see something suspicious happening, knowing the police department and how we want you to call if you see something happening. Sometimes people are afraid of that just because they don't want to feel like they're bothering us. Well, we want to be bothered. That's our job.
Once again, National Night Out Against Crime is Tuesday, August the 7th, with events starting at 6 p.m. Estep will spend a good part of her August, meanwhile, coordinating the Passport to Safety program that targets our youngest school kids.
What it is a program for incoming kindergartners to start learning about safety, and also to learn what to expect when they start going to school. They kind of get used to the routine of going in, sitting down in the classroom, and riding a bus. Certain things that they haven't done before, instead of just throwing them into the mix, we're kind of bringing all of that to their pace.
Passport to Safety tackles issues incoming kindergartners need to know, as well as some general safety tips that are good to know on or off the school grounds.
We'll talk about what to do, safety rules for the pool or lakes. We'll also talk about hand washing, how important it is to make sure that you wash your hands. We'll have a vet come and talk about pet safety. I'll be in there for a day talking about strangers and 911 and when it's okay to call 911 and it's not okay to call for pizza. And then the fire department will come in, we'll look at a medic, we'll go through a fire truck, they'll get to spray some water out of a hose, get to wear some of the firefighter gear, so they know that it's okay to go to a firefighter if they have all the gear on if there's an emergency.
Our last stop today is at the Castle Hills Golf Course, where a unique program is being planned to introduce golf to a whole new fan base. John Marshy says everything you ever wanted to know about golf but were afraid to ask is geared towards a specific target audience.
This is a program aimed at people that may not have access to golf any other way. Their parents may not have played, they have no friends that played, but they may have an interest in the game. So this is a program aimed at them to come and ask all the questions that they have about golf, but they may have been afraid to ask or maybe too embarrassed to even ask somebody at a golf course or a golf facility or a practice range or something like that. So we're looking at that person that has an interest but really has no way of quenching that thirst for their knowledge for the game.
What will the July 14th class cover? Well, Marcia says they'll start the class at the beginning.
It's going to get as elementary as it gets. Where to park your car when you come to a golf course. What is a greens fee? What's a divot? Pace of play issues, care for the course. How do I get started? What do I need to know to continue my progress? We're going to try to cover, basically the introduction from soup to nuts of what they need to know if they intend to get started in the game.
Marcia says golf is a game that has a broad appeal to many different age groups.
It's a lifetime sport. Eventually softball goes away, soccer goes away, those kind of sports, action sports go away. Golf never does. And what's great about golf is that fathers can play with sons and with daughters, and mothers can play with sons, and you can play with in-laws and friends. It crosses all that span. It's a game that you can share with your family and enjoy together.
Once again, the free class is set for Saturday, July the 14th from 4:30 to 6:30 in the evening at the Castle Hills Golf Course. You'll need to sign up ahead of time to make sure you have a spot in the class. If you're interested in the everything you always wanted to know about golf but were afraid to ask class, getting registered is simple. Call 890-1300 or check them out on the website at castlehills.com. That's going to do it for this edition of Focus Vandalia. I'm Rich Hopkins. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.